When you are working with businesses and they're developing a podcast, what do you find are the strategies that help them reach more listeners with their podcast? And then from there, turn that into useful conversions for their business?
Yeah, so there's kind of for me, there's a two-pronged answer for that, and it's a carryover from your first question. So when we build shows for clients, I fall back to the original radio clock, if you will. So we literally will and I use the language, the structured, unstructured podcast. And what we mean by that at Produce Your Podcast is that we will align a format for the host, that how they're going to open the show, how they're going to highlight industry insights, if they're going to do Q&A interviews, integrating a special segment that has an opportunity for sponsorship and really showcase their expertise, how they utilize a music bed, professional open and close. So just that piece alone has been a really nice transitional piece of education and motivation for us to build shows that sound and feel and the listeners enjoy, because it's edutainment. It's not an infomercial. And I think that's just really important to start with a quality product, especially if you're a business owner. You need your podcast to be as professional as your website, as your social media. It needs to be an audio brand extension of who you are in your own voice. And then the audience growth piece becomes a little more simple, not too much more, but a little bit more simple, because everything has that continuity. When people experience your brand on the different platforms, they listen to your podcast, they watch it on YouTube, they go to your website, everything has a nice continuous flow. So that builds the trustworthiness and the credibility factor. And then when you get into really specific growth tactics, I mean, we could talk all day about that, but there's, consistency compounds over time. You've got to commit to a schedule that is going to be attainable for you, that you can not only just survive to maintain, but also thrive in. And because that consistency is so incredibly important for audience growth. And then looking at your marketing strategy and what are you doing organically? What are you doing to integrate your podcast in all the other areas that you're marketing? And then are you setting aside a specific budget to market your podcast maybe inside other podcasts that have similar audiences? So it's not a simple one size fits all, but there's certain pillars of this strategy that I just outlined that if all of those come together, then you're going to have organic and accelerated growth.
Level up your podcast with advice from the pros at Produce Your Podcast. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. For more expert tips and services, visit produceyourpodcast.com.